Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Fuck.
All you probably heard then was ugly as fuck.
I hope that's all you heard. I'll let your imagination go where it wants to, listener.
There was some inappropriate off mic talk.
Oh,
But I'll never have to apologize for it.
You'll see it on Greatest Podcast Bloopers.
That's the legends I learned. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we watched some bloopers last night.
What's funny about it too is it made it seem like it was from the early 80s, but you realize it was from the mid 90s.
Yeah, we were killing time waiting for Mikey's boyfriend to come over, right? We were watching stuff out under the stars.
And the other night on the meetup, we were talking about bloopers and practical jokes.
We were, and I guess
it was in your head still.
Well, I didn't even search for it. Like YouTube knew I wanted to see it.
Oh.
I just went to YouTube and it was like under the suggested videos.
Well, because they hear you talking.
Yeah, they do. And we watched it, and it was like
Dick Clark was hosting.
It was still the Dick Clark hosted version, but this was some weird maybe 90s era look back on the 80s.
It said Drew Carey coming up.
Well, because, and Fresh Prince. But they also did clips from Laverne and Shirley like it was a new show. Like it just happened. Laverne and Shirley hadn't been on the air like as a new show in like 20 years at that point.
Well, they showed bloopers from black and white silent films too, so.
and the Cosby Show.
Oh, too much Cosby Show.
It was but those actually the bloopers from the Cosby Show were the funniest ones that they showed, but at the same time you're just looking at Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
they were funny because of the jokes we were making about it. But
the kid was funny. This kid couldn't say Dr. Huxtable, and it was funny.
It felt like Kelly said. It felt fake.
By the last one, it did. But the first three, I think, were totally legit.
Dr. Huxtable.
I feel like after the cameras went off, Bill Cosby like slapped that kid across the face 4 or 5 times.
Do you think that kid was slurring his words because he got a Quaalude in his drink?
Oh,
probably.
Accidentally.
Fuck you, Bill Cosby.
That's why he was mad. He picked up the wrong drink.
So
I hope he dies.
I wanted to explain to certain listeners that don't know who Dick Clark is in blooper shows.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
It was a time filler show. And
one of my favorites. I love bloopers.
Oh yeah.
It just seems such an old-fashioned thing to have a whole show for bloopers.
Well, also these like what we call outtakes now, like they do not live up to what you see now. Like what people, it was just enough for somebody to screw up their line for it to come up on that show. You know what I mean?
Didn't even like it wasn't even that fun. Like the Laverne and Shirley one, where they saw each other in their beat up makeup, and like you couldn't even tell it was crazy makeup or anything. You're just like, what are they laughing about?
Yeah, and then they had Cindy Williams narrate it so she could explain to you why it was funny.
Right, and she still didn't though.
Yeah, she was like,
so wait, why was
seen
that
each
funny?
other because we hadn't seen each other.
Now that's funny.
That's why it was funny.
I just imagine the audience is just said, we're going to Los Angeles, so you just get some tickets to any show we can.
It's still a very simple time.
Yeah.
But I always love those shows. One, because in the early 90s, 80s, there weren't DVD extras.
Right.
No, there weren't.
So this is the only place you could see things like this where your like favorite actors are like their character but not, and then laughter is infectious.
I would love to be in that studio audience. One of my biggest dreams is to go be an audience member of America's Funniest Videos, so I can control who the one.
Andy, that is such an attainable dream.
You could do the virtual shows. They were
they did those.
I think it was free. You just had to sign up for a time when they were doing them for this last season.
Why don't we try to go be in the audience on AFE? Let's add it to your dream.
But it was like a Zoom. It was a Zoom, and you would be like on this
Yeah.
video wall, and you could see people laughing in their homes.
I want to be on Be Real, laughing.
I love AFE.
Because I'm sure like they tell the audience like laugh like it's the funniest thing you ever fucking seen in your life.
or you're out.
Laugh like you're in the Joker's parade.
Do you ever worry that you're having the wool pulled over your eyes and that they're not really seeing the clips? They're just like being filmed laughing?
Yeah. Well, they just pump Smilex gas in there. They're not even watching AFE.
Vicky Vale.
Oh, Vicky Vale.
Oh, Vicky.
So, yeah.
We skipped last week. That's my fault, listener. I had a migraine.
Sometimes you got to skip a week.
This is powered by humans. What we do here is powered by humans, and humans get sick. But also humans send us money, so thank you. Patreon.com/NOTLP.
Thank you, humans.
Thank you, humans.
It's the money from humans that I appreciate the most. Not that I don't appreciate when we get money from opossums and squirrels, but I do prefer the human money.
Yeah.
You guys, you've made a whole lot possible these past few years.
Yeah.
Can we rename the Legion of Demons to the Legion of Humans?
The Legion of Humans. That sounds like a new wave band.
It does.
Yeah.
They had to change it because of the Human League gave them a cease and desist because they were the League of Humans. The Human League was like, nope.
That went all the way to the Supreme Court. It was a landmark case. Human versus human.
So silly.
Yeah, we have out there right now on Origins where we talk about a simple plan. We have a Topicana, new Topicana coming.
That's right. Would you like to know the question?
Yeah, go ahead and hit us up with that question.
The question is the secret word. Anyway, tell me about a time you got in maybe the most trouble as a kid, meaning pre-18. So you might think, when I was 20, I was a kid, I fucking ran my car into a... No, like a kid. The thing you did as a kid that you got in big trouble for.
Yeah.
Big, bad trouble.
There's so many definitions of big trouble.
What you feel like was big trouble. What made you feel like this is big trouble?
There was that one time I was in Little China.
Well, I can't wait to hear about that.
Andy was driving the Pork Chop Express.
Well, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think this will be a good one.
It always is.
But Topicana is a bonus podcast. If you like what we do here, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, over at Topicana, we talk about whatever. One of us poses a question every week, and we answer it. It's friggin' fun.
Are we human?
Are we
Or
not
are we
Devo?
dancing? Are we not Devo?
Or are we dancing? Fantastic, you guys. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, America.
Yeah. Hey, we got it's on the we got you something, America, but it's in the mail. We mailed it too late. It's gonna be there.
Mail doesn't run tomorrow, so
blame DeJoy.
There you go.
It would have gotten to you by now, but DeJoy.
You know, America gets the card and they shake it, looking for the money.
They open the card
trash.
immediately. They don't even read the front because nobody's there because they got it in the mail. They don't have to pretend to read the front like they give a shit of the card. They
look
open
at the back. First, they look at the back to make sure that you sprung for a minimum American greetings.
American greetings.
American greetings.
But hopefully they see Hallmark back there.
Yeah, Hallmark is the gold standard, and then they feel it to see if there's any bulk to it.
Yeah.
There's not.
And then America's like, put this in the fire with the rest.
Because we're back here, like, do you think America's gonna mind that we didn't send any money this year? And then one of us is like, hey, it's been tough. We just came out of a pandemic. America's gonna understand.
America's had
but it
America
doesn't.
needs to offer grace.
Yeah.
To us. God
give
damn it.
Give us a break, America.
We sure
and
do
plus,
need one.
America,
We'll get you at Christmas.
You haven't been great lately. Yeah. Let's be real.
I mean, let's
be real. Like, shit's collapsing. The oceans are on fire. There's a pandemic still raging. Delta plus variants. I mean, fuck you, America.
But that's it. That's like the whole world, man. Man, what are we gonna celebrate? Like there needs to be like a day for like the Earth, man.
Man. Yeah, man. We should start like a day for Earth. World Day, right, man? Like
the Legion of Humans presents.
Yeah, man, and then Human League can play like a show.
Human League.
I love it, man.
We're hanging out in the backyard doing the 4th of July thing, eating grilled meats.
Jaws like every American should.
Oh, those burgers were so good, Freddie.
Oh, thank you.
And the deviled eggs.
Thank you.
I was a fan of both.
Old family recipes.
Well, yeah, we watched the Jaws riff tracks, which I had never experienced before.
Because I was hilarious.
Jaws is a perfect movie. What are you going to make fun of?
That was
so much.
That was Andy's recommendation. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
It was so great.
I think everything should be riff traxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard they said back in the day their favorite recording that the original MSG 3K.
Did you say MSG 3K?
Did I?
It tastes better.
Mono.
Yeah.
It does taste better, and there's no science
Yeah.
about that. It's really a racist assumption. But they did, or basically before Riff Tracks, they had recorded a track for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and never could release it because of the licensing.
Oh, Kevin Costner?
Did they do it?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, I remember
That would be
reading that.
amazing.
Yeah, because if they've done it, I feel like that's the next one I need to find.
Yeah.
Amy, I have a bunch of Star Trek ones I can lend you.
Give them to me now.
Would that be too sacred that they're making fun of?
No.
Oh,
Is it the movies? Because
yeah.
there's so much. It's rich.
We'll watch Star Trek porn parodies too.
I've seen it. I've seen all the Star Trekky
Anything.
Parody?
parodies. No.
Just the one. What? Kirk. Oh yeah. As soon as Kirk completes his scene, he flips out the communicator immediately. Like he's ready. He's just like bam, bones.
He's a captain. He has to really be efficient with his time.
Yeah.
He's got to bust that nut and then bust out some orders before the Romulans fucking disable their fucking shields.
Was it Evan Stone?
Yeah, it was.
Captain Evan.
You've seen it, haven't you?
No, I just assumed that he's in everyone.
Is he the parody guy?
He's so funny. As Kirk, he's pretty much. He's having the best time of his life.
When did they could do the porn parody of that Sasquatch documentary on Hulu?
Which one?
The one.
The one with the one we watched, the murder one.
Oh, yeah. They have the guy that looks like Evan Stone in it.
That's right. He looks that guy's a journalist who looks just like Evan Stone.
Oh shit! Yeah. Now I remember. What was that called?
A porn parody of that.
That was just called Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, but it's not really about Sasquatch.
It's barely about Sasquatch. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody, but I don't want Sasquatch lovers going into this.
Oh
thinking
yeah, it is.
It's a Sasquatch thing.
Not even. Really.
You won't even like what they say about Sasquatch if you're a Sasquatch fan.
They call Sasquatch a back Sasquatch.
Yeah,
because it's always sassing back at you.
Yeah,
they're like.
Freddy Morris.
You may go out and you make your
more
Bigfoot
like back
sounds.
Sasquatch.
You're like, and then it's like, ooh.
Yep.
That's why nobody wants to find him.
Yeah, because there's just
they're rude.
He's an asshole.
They'll cut through your ego worse than like a teenage girl.
They know what you're insecure about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, that Sasquatch is laughing. Is he laughing at me?
No, he's looking at his phone. It's okay.
Oh my god, is he recording me?
Oh, he is.
It's a group of young Sasquatch.
Am I on Sasquatch's TikTok? Look at this jackass.
So when we were watching Jaws last night, I really paid a lot more attention to Robert Shaw this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I've seen the movie so many times, he just really drew me in like way more this time, even though they were making jokes about, the Riff Tracks guys are being their silly selves. I was like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah. He really is. We just saw him in something else, and we were trying to remember what it was.
And then I was worried. I was thinking of Vic Morrow and what was that movie?
The Last Shark.
The Last Shark. Then I was like, oh shit, is that who I'm thinking?
Because we'd also seen Vic Morrow in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I can't remember.
But I'm glad you brought this up today because it was killing me.
Well, we don't need to sit here while you try to figure it out.
You keep making your point.
I'm done. I thought Quint steals the show.
Yeah.
But I love the way they all work the boys when they're being boys.
Yeah.
How delightful.
They are. They build a friendship.
What an absolute delight of a movie.
While trying to hunt down an amazing, rare creature and blow it to bits.
They should. It's clearly too smart for us. It needs to go away.
I get something new out of it every single time.
Yeah.
Like, who was it? You said, whatever happened to the Boy Scouts? Never occurred to me.
Did they ever get their badges?
I was like, he was going to go out there. And then it was just like the mayor was like, not a shark attack. And they're like, all right, I guess we don't need to fuck around with these Boy Scouts. Swim away, boys.
I also noticed, remember when Quint scratches the chalkboard?
Yeah.
Who drew that shark?
Right? Well, that's what they point out
There's
too.
a little cartoon of like a shark eating a boy. And I'm like,
Was
that's
it Quentin just back there like silently trying to draw on
poor
chalkboard?
taste.
It's hilarious.
You know
It's
what's
very
funny?
silly.
You might have been thinking of Vic Morrow.
I'm thinking, I very much think that's what I'm thinking.
Because looking through
Vic
Robert
Morrow
Shaw's...
draws you in?
No. When we were watching the movie last night, I was like, didn't we just see something with Robert Shaw in it?
No, we definitely didn't.
And then a little bit later, I was like, or am I thinking of Vic Morrow in The Last Shark? Which it very well could be, and that's a shame that I work that way.
To be honest, though, Vic Morrow was also a really great actor.
Yeah.
And they also kind of look like each other in a way.
And what's funny, we talked on Origins about Rob Zombie. That was Steven Spielberg kind of was doing that. That was sort of a Robert Shaw, like getting a performance out of an actor who is kind of like not at the top part of his career. You know?
Yeah.
Like getting that performance out
Tarantino
of Robert Shaw.
did it too.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It was just in 75. Yeah, it was really
Well, there's like, because those are filmmakers that love movies.
Yeah.
They love the history of movies, and they love, I mean, like, it's just a different game for them.
Right.
They're not trying to do, sell something.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure I've mentioned, certainly to you guys, and you're sick of hearing about it, how we're watching Sequest, which I love, which is one of the stupidest shows.
That's an example
written.
of the conversation we had about Teen Wolf on Origins.
Yeah.
Where
It's so bad.
you can love
I
something
love it.
and know that it's
I
bad.
love Ted Raimi in it. I have like a little crush on Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi's always great.
in Sequest.
Yeah, I always thought that he was Adam Driver attractive-y.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a cutie.
But Roy
This has opened my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I can see it now. I had to hear you guys say it.
And now you understand why we were like, we think Ted Raimi's a little cutie.
Well, I always thought he was super charming, but I never saw him as like handsome.
He's a cutie.
But I think about when he was in
Charm
Candyman.
can
Yeah.
it
Talent and charm makes people a lot more attractive.
There's a reason Joxer is everybody's
Yeah.
favorite character on Xena.
We were, I think, Amy, even though, Kevin Sorbo aside, yuck.
Right.
I do feel like we need to watch Hercules because...
Yeah, but you just made me watch a movie with fucking James Woods in
That's
it. Give me a
true.
break.
This is true.
Give me some time.
I'll give you... There'll be a cushion because you got to finish Sequest, but Sequest... These are all part of the same mutant hillfolk family of TV series.
Yeah. They are. The Sam Raimi verse.
Yeah.
The Sam Raimi TV verse.
That's what it feels like. Is the Sam...
Yeah.
And they even did, like, on Sequest, they did a little nod to Evil Dead recently,
Yeah.
which I've forgotten.
They do nods to Jaws. They do nods to
I was
Evil
going to
Dead.
ask how many fucking nods to Jaws
There's
are
a
there
character named
on
Brody.
Yeah.
CSV.
There is a character
There was
named Brody.
there was
DSV,
another
whatever
one
it is.
that I can't remember.
It was the giant crocodile episode, or the crocodile.
Oh, it was an enormous fucking crocodile.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, have you not watched Sequest?
I've never seen Sequest.
You would love it.
How big are we talking about?
It was like
It was almost as big as Sequest.
about the
Oh my
size
God.
of like
I
2
love
or
big
3
animals.
Jawses.
Well, the thing that might be there was a German U-boat captain. So there was a whole report. Now, some people say that this is like a hoax thing, but there is a long-standing story about this captain's log from this German U-boat officer in World War II, where they claim to have seen out of this submarine this huge crocodile that was 40 feet long, gigantic in the ocean.
That's bigger than Jaws.
And of course there were seagoing reptiles, prehistoric mosasaurs. I can't remember exactly how to pronounce it. That looked like that. It's just interesting, and I wonder if that's what inspired this Sequest
Actually,
episode.
that probably is. There's a lot of moments where Jonathan Brandis comes in and explains.
Is he the Wesley Crusher of
He
these?
is definitely. He's exactly Wesley Crusher.
Gotcha.
Oh, then they got a Deanna Troi in there. They've got all these different like archetypes from other sci-fi shows.
Yeah. There's a lot of, they pull in stuff from Babylon 5 a lot too, that the same character types, and it's Star Trek is very anti-corporate.
Yeah.
This, and then you watch Babylon 5 and it's very pro-corporate.
Yeah.
You get to this show.
I don't know that. I don't watch Babylon 5.
If you ever watch Babylon 5, it's kind of a more right of center version of Star Trek.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Still, somewhat socially liberal ideas, but like they have an economy with money and everything.
Right.
In Sequest, it's that idea too, where it's trying to strike this weird balance throughout a lot of the show between like what private industry can do and the morality of that, like for conservation. Yeah.
Did Pepsi build like the
Sequest
or something?
It's called the Pepsi Sequest.
Presented by
the Pepsi Sequest halftime show.
Welcome to the Skittles Nautilus.
Are they always like reaching for like, that was a tough expedition?
Yeah, and then they just
I could use a refreshing Coke.
Well, Pepsi.
Yeah. The most entertaining thing about Sequest is you start at episode 1 and you watch this first season, wherein they put science lessons throughout the episode. You're learning, you're getting that same thing you got about space from Star Trek. And then at the end of every episode, you have Bob Ballard from the Oceanic Institute who comes on and he gives you another lesson to wrap out the show.
Yeah.
Very hard sciencey, super like researched, like consultants.
Yeah.
Everything's very, straight.
So you actually get science lessons from an actual scientist?
But don't worry. Come the second season, they're like, fuck that.
Yeah. The second season, well, the only weird thing in the first season as far as like science fiction-y stuff
there was the ghosts.
There's Darwin. Was that the first season they had the ghost?
Yeah.
Oh, they had the Halloween episode.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about in October.
There's sea ghosts?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
so many sea ghosts, I'm sure.
Roy Scheider has a dolphin named Darwin that they've built a device. Jonathan Brandis builds this device.
You can talk to it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember.
Yeah, the dolphin Darwin can speak.
Yeah.
But he speaks like in riddles, which is great, especially later in the series.
Is that how is that what they posit that dolphins think and talk like in riddles?
Well, no, it's because the programming isn't perfected
important
yet.
It is not important.
But later on they might, because it has. Once you get to season 2 of Sequest, it gets to balls of the wall bonkers. Like they bring in aliens.
They found an underwater pyramid. And they're like, "Well, how old is it?" And they're like, "It's before time."
Oh, so they try to go X-Files-y a little bit.
Oh yeah.
He says, "Do you know time?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "It's older than that."
How can something be older than time? Time is the only way you have to measure elderness, right?
Has the time always been there?
It was just like
yeah.
It was just like he didn't know.
He meant the magazine.
He didn't know it had no way to calculate it.
I can't get over that whole concept they put in this show. I'm like, how can something be older? It can be prehistoric, which is before language.
Right.
But like, how can something be before time?
Well, I guess if you want to say that time is a human construct.
Yeah.
Before the time of humans.
But don't things age? Oh man, I can't. I'm not.
We can measure pre-human history though.
We can, but we're humans.
So you're saying that
I'm saying time is a human construct.
If you take the construct out of it, we haven't measured shit.
If humans can't, if you don't have human perception, I'm not sure how animals perceive time.
Do you want to ask Darwin? We'll tell you. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah, I would love that if he was voiced by Dave Coulier.
And also they give him a fucking baby voice.
Yeah,
he's so cute. The most recent one we had like ancient gods at the bottom of the ocean possessing people and turned one of the crew members into Medusa.
Oh, right. Did he rape her first?
No. She
So they leave that part out.
It doesn't matter. Again.
One of the members of In Vogue was in that episode.
Yes.
Why
and
are they
she
underwater?
sang.
Are they just like a research station?
Yeah.
And just shit happens to them all the time?
Yeah.
Well, they're also a military vessel.
Does not matter.
It's both.
They're the Enterprise of underwater, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the United Earth. What is it called? The United Earth Oceans?
Federation of Oceans. I don't know.
No, it's the UEO. It's the
Yes.
United
Earth's Ocean Organization.
United Earth Oceans or something.
We've united the oceans.
All the oceans are basically water.
We just got a new ocean.
Thank goodness. We did?
Yeah, they just determined a new ocean.
How do you discover water? It's there.
They didn't discover it. I think National Geographic has now defined a certain part of what was part of other oceans as its own ocean now. Do not ask me. I am not an ocean. I'm not Bob Ballard.
How is this not huge news?
I heard
it changes everything you learn in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But only National Geographic has done that. Like, who is the official
So who names oceans?
decider?
Across the world. National Geographic. I mean, they are national.
There's probably some little measurement that nobody ever noticed where they're like, we got to redefine that or change the meaning of the word. I guess it's another ocean.
I hope they named the new ocean Billy.
They should name it Pluto to honor the planet that got deplanetized.
They
Is it in the Caribbean?
They should call it Pluto-ocean.
Pluto-ocean. And that way we give back...
wet Pluto.
We give Pluto back its dignity.
Wet Pluto and dry Pluto.
Yeah.
I think Pluto's just ice, though.
Pluto.
So it's not technically dry.
It's dry ice.
Unless it's dry ice.
Don't handle Pluto with your bare hands.
You're listening to Star Talk with Neil deGrasse
Is anyone else afraid of dry ice? Like, I passed it at Meyer yesterday, and I was like, dry ice. And they're like, look at this fun thing. You can keep everything cold. But I'm afraid of it.
I am too.
Because it can burn your skin?
Yes.
Like, it reminds me of that scene from Jason in Space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where that girl just
I love that you call it Jason in Space.
Is it Jason in Space?
It's Jason X.
Jason X. That girl gets her face dipped in the dry ice.
Yes.
And he just smashes it.
They should have named it Jason Among the Stars.
That was liquid nitrogen. I think dry ice is that, but it's in ice form?
I don't know, but I get
Wow.
the times I've ordered Rebel ice cream, it comes in a thing of dry ice, and I'm always terrified of touching it or looking at it or breathing it or anything.
Me too.
I feel like it can't be that bad.
If they could sell it to you at a grocery store, it's probably safe.
Well, they don't
if
sell
you follow the
or the world is not
instructions.
protecting us, and I need to stop thinking that.
Well,
I need
you
to protect
do.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put up walls around my heart.
boundaries.
Build them.
All right, are we done here?
Yeah, I think we are.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight to Video Russian Roulette.
I just want to fill you in on what's happening in this trailer.
I hear scratching.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody's just trying to get some wallpaper, like they're renovating.
You're warm.
Yeah. Are they scratching a wall?
Yeah, somebody's cutting a hole in a wall.
Oh,
and then a guy says, "Mo Barrett, you are dead."
Oh,
or
no,
something
Mo.
like that. Now there's a hand coming through the wall. This is very surreal.
Okay.
This lady's got a gun.
Is it Janie?
Ooh, there was some sort of goblin-y looking thing in the ventilation.
Oh dear.
Guns, goblins, and wall scrapings.
It's called Caveat.
This movie's got everything.
Yeah.
And Andy reviewed it.
Well, he hasn't yet.
Are we recording now?
Oh yeah, I was just describing the trailer for the listeners because there was no dialogue in
Nothing
it.
happened.
Okay.
There's just a lot of scratching sounds.
I thought that was a B-roll that was going to show up on the blooper show.
Yep. They're raising Dick Clark from the dead right now.
This trailer looked awesome.
So this is Caveat, or Caveat, as some people like to say. It's another Irish movie. We got 2 weeks of Irish movies.
Ireland.
Ireland.
And I could understand the words.
Yeah?
Even though I put the subtitles on regardless of the movie because
case.
I need to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to understand what's going on
Yeah.
because my hearing's going. So,
Same.
Caveat, it's about this guy named Caveat. He gets offered to...
Is his name really Caveat?
No.
Oh, okay.
This guy approaches him and it says, I need somebody to look after my niece. She's on... her dad just died and her mom's missing and I need somebody to look after her.
His niece, Denise?
His niece, Denise. It's based on her names. So he just says, yeah, just look after her. But the guy's like, but it seems too good to be true.
Don't feed her after midnight.
Yeah.
No.
But again, this is where the caveat is, I guess, because it's not that easy.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love it.
But she turns out she lives on her own in this secluded place, but it's on an island. And the guy didn't tell the other caveat this. I'm gonna call him Caveat.
We're just gonna call him Caveat.
He doesn't tell Caveat this, but he already agreed to it, and like he doesn't have a job, so he agrees to it, even though there's all these things that
red flags.
Yeah, that he wasn't told about. It's secluded. There's no other way to get to the island besides that boat. And he gets there, and it's like typical haunted house. Like
it's kind of like The Woman in Black.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie bingo.
Oh.
It's you got the creepy old house with the peeling wallpaper. You got a creepy doll.
Bingo.
You win a Chipotle gift card.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm actually going to give it to one of you guys. I got like weird bones in the last time I got Chipotle.
Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
No, I love Chipotle.
You got weird bones in your Chipotle?
What meat did you get?
The bones.
Steak.
Oh, I never get steak, so I think I'll be all right.
Well, they asked you, like, do you want white rice, brown rice, or bones? And he said bones.
You weren't paying, yeah.
I should have paid
you
more.
You said both.
Like,
they thought you said bones.
Yeah.
That's why I like ice cream.
No bones?
No bones about it.
It's like boneless ice cream.
It's that new boneless. You know what's funny is you could sell a lot of that just by labeling your brand of ice cream as boneless ice cream, because then everyone would just assume that the rest of the ice cream had bones in it.
It could be any product. You could put boneless on any product and just sell like boneless toothpaste. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'll get that.
Oh, boneless tampons. Sign me up.
TM, that's ours. The boneless company.
Yeah, we're just called Boneless. That's the name of our corporation.
All right.
It turns out we sell bones too.
Yeah.
We do.
We sell bones DVDs.
If we're deboning everything, we have a surplus of bones to sell.
Okay, so Caveat gets to the house, and it's typical haunted, like spooky,
Scoopy poopy.
Scoopy house. It's like decrepit, peeling wallpaper, old timey beds. You know, like a
haunted house.
It's scary houses. You know the white, like the steel frame beds.
Yeah.
Like the sticky ones look like sticks.
Yeah. Like old mental
old-timey,
institutions.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, like
it's
sanitariums.
got, lamps askew. You know, with the lamps with the covers on it, with the fringy.
The shades.
The
but
horror house
slightly
lamps?
cocked.
Yeah. So it's just typical, like a lot of horror tropes in this. You got your some ghosty bits.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you get to see some ghosty bits?
What's the sensitive way to say crazy nowadays?
I want to be sensitive to people's needs, but I don't think crazy says bad. But maybe you could just say mentally disturbed.
Not crazy.
Mentally ill.
Mentally ill. Yeah, so it turns out the niece is mentally ill, and she has the guy that presents Caveat this deal. Like she's easy to take care of because she has these. She gets in these like stupors where she is catatonic.
I'm going to say she had handles.
Yeah, she has handles.
Like, don't worry, she is super easy. She got handles.
But he gets to the house, and it turns out the grandma lived there, and she was a sleepwalker.
Oh.
So
like the monster?
Yeah, from Stephen King's Sleepwalker. She was actually a cat.
She's a cat person.
Yeah. And this seemed
anyway.
very like tacked on. The grandma was a sleepwalker, so they had this old timey like leather vest that they chained her to, but she had like,
you know, the kindest way to deal with somnambulism.
But the vest was attached to a chain that she could walk freely around the house, but still,
so she could strangle herself to death with it.
Like you're still sleepwalking, but you're wandering around the house.
So you're still out of sleepwalk, but you'll be restrained and have something that can kill you.
Help yourself.
Instead of we just put you in, like we just lock your door at night.
Oh man,
and you
this
can only
reminds
stay
me
in your room.
of those old jokes where they'd be like, "Your niece is so mentally ill
How mentally ill is she?
that you have to chain her in, but the chain's the length of the property, so it's okay.
Freddy's capping on me.
She can wander around,
No cap.
but it's dangerous.
That's another conversation we had.
Yeah.
Your niece is so mentally ill
Oh,
How much is she?
that it's very sad.
Oh.
And I don't think she'll ever function in communities.
So anyway,
That is a sick burn.
that was the
It's the
sickest.
sickest of burns.
So the caveat's employer says you need to put this vest on because the niece says like she gets freaked out if the person watching her doesn't have this vest on. So
is it a real ugly Christmassy vest thing?
That seems like a real stretch, but okay.
Have a bunch of lollipops in it.
It's a lot of horror tropes and unnecessary things to add to the creepy factor. You
got to put on these silver panties because she's going to freak out.
Because she's a sleepwalker. It's like that's the worst thing to see a naked sleepwalker. It's better to see him with the silver panties on.
Yeah. It just gives him some dignity.
Yeah. So he had caveat's employer leaves and the guy has to put the vest on.
There had to be an easier job he could have found.
It turns out he has like short-term memory loss and he doesn't, or amnesia or something.
Oh my goodness.
So he doesn't remember a lot about his past.
Everything is happening in this movie.
My gosh.
I don't want to spoil, and she turns out she's schizophrenic and she walks around with a bow and arrow. Not a bow, what's the
crossbow?
Crossbow.
Oh.
That's the big weapon in this movie. I mean,
like schizophrenic people do so often.
You're issued one when you're diagnosed.
Yeah. And plus, when he gets there, he didn't bring any luggage. He's supposed to stay there for 5 days. It's like, what you wearing?
Did he forget it?
When I notice shit like that in movies, it bugs the fuck out of me. And I'm only mad at myself, really. It's like, doesn't matter.
Well, he had short-term memory loss.
So he forgot to do it.
No.
It's like, he doesn't forget. He forgot that he wore this outfit for 5 days.
He's like, wait, what was I doing here? Caveating?
Though, have you guys watched that new Nick Cage movie where he's working?
Willy's Wonderland?
Willy's Wonderland.
I want to. It's on the list.
Yeah, it just reminded me. A few things, actually, Andy said for some reason reminded me of that. It's fun.
Yeah. No, I can, it was a little nitpicky thing, but I could forgive it because it's not a realistic thing, this movie.
Clearly.
Because...
Right, that's the least of your concerns.
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns.
I will find myself getting like, my brain just gets stuck on it. And I just think about it. And I'm like, then he's not going to have any clean underwear. And how's he going to brush his teeth?
This guy doesn't have clean underwear. But where's he going to wash his underwear?
As you expect, the creepy factor amps up a lot. Oop. And there are a lot of questions that are posited but aren't answered.
No.
And I don't necessarily needed the questions answered, but there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like a lot. They threw a lot of backstory in here. And
it sounds like they threw a lot in this movie.
This feels exhausting.
Yeah. Like it was good atmosphere.
Oh, all right.
Even though like the whole movie just involved like 3 people. It's like not like typical like horror movie scares nowadays, like jump things is more atmospheric.
It looked scary. Yeah, like that trailer looks scary.
It's a slow burn, but there are it's just a lot. It's funny because it's such a contained small movie. It's just 2 characters, 3 characters, but and like some other side characters. Like you got 3 main characters, and they're just in this house. But they just throw in a lot.
It's too much story.
Yeah, too much story, but
entirely too much story.
I think the atmosphere and then there's some like generally creepy moments that made up for it.
That's going to be the name of Taylor Swift's next album. Too much story.
Mm-hmm.
Too much tuna.
It sounds like a Taylor Swift album name.
Why you gotta pick on Tay-Tay?
I'm picking on her. I like the name.
Oh, okay.
So it's a slight recommend.
Okay.
I just want to point out for 1 minute that I was a Taylor Swift fan before you were.
Okay, good for you. What do you want?
And I was like, you got to hear this kid. She's amazing. She's going to be huge. And you're just like, I don't like country music.
I don't. I've never listened to any of her country shit.
Yeah, but it was still good. And for the record,
okay,
I wasn't on the ground floor with Taylor Swift.
All right.
He's a Taylor Swift hipster.
He's a Swiftie.
He's a Swifter.
I'm a Swipster.
You're a Swiffer.
A Swift-per?
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it would have been nice if these questions were answered because there's a lot of whys. Like, why?
I hate movies
why anyone?
Yeah. Why anybody? Why me? And she never actually said that.
I know.
We
got
Mandela effect.
But she does in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a slight recommend. Like good atmosphere, some genuine scares, but there's just a lot in this movie.
Amy's banging stuff up.
I didn't mean to. I was just trying to set up.
I smacked my face into my microphone earlier.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you, Andrew.
I stole TV.
Thank you for your review.
Yes.
You did so good, Andy. You had a busy week, so it was just like a lot for you. Well, you had to watch 2 movies instead of one.
I thought I had a busier week, but you took the bullet for me.
Yeah. Okay, let's start cranking this Jack in the box.
All right.
And see who it's going to pop out for.
Let's see who can make it pop.
Who's going to make the Jack
pop?
In the box taco pop. Yep. Okay, I'm up first.
And Amy has arthritis.
I do have arthritis.
I'm sorry.
I just got diagnosed, you guys. I'm arthritic. It's in my neck. Help me.
Sometimes I think I might because I get weird pains in my finger joints.
Yeah.
I think Amy was excited to be diagnosed.
It's I've had this neck pain for so long, and I've just powered through it.
Yeah.
And to have an idea of what it is now is kind of liberating, and I want to talk about it.
I thought you were going to go out in the streets and be like, arthritis, I have arthritis.
That's her whole identity now. She's get arthritis t-shirts.
I'm arthritis girl, like horse girls.
She's get arthritis bumper stickers.
She got the itis.
You're having an arthritic girl summer?
You guys, oh my God, yeah. Little did I know it. I've been having those summers for a while now.
Yeah.
All right, that's Freddy. Which...
You know, I hit the wrong button, which leaves you, Kelly.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, Kelly.
Sorry, Kelly.
I haven't done one in a couple weeks.
All right, Kelly, this is what you're going to watch. It's on Hulu.
Oh.
It's called Phobias.
Oh.
5 dangerous patients suffering from extreme phobias at a government testing facility are put to the ultimate test under the supervision of a crazed doctor.
Always crazed.
And his quest to weaponize fear. Oh, is this doctor a Republican? Yeah, like I said, on Hulu, it's an hour 25.
Oh, all right. That's pretty good.
Isn't that great?
That's good.
Oh,
what's it called?
It's called Phobias.
Oh, Phobias. That's right. You said that.
I did.
You did say that.
You made me freak out for a second. I was just going to say, Fozzie let me know the other day that there's a category on Netflix.
Under 90 minutes.
For under 90 minutes.
No shit.
Which I was like, God bless you, sir.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know.
Okay, guys. We can move on.
All right.
I like this. Is this the new main attraction music?
No, this is the trailer for Videodrome.
Oh.
If you can believe it, folks. If you have the means, and by that I mean YouTube.
Is it so choice?
It's so choice.
Does anybody else... Are we listening to this, or am I?
I'm gonna bring this down.
No, I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
I was just gonna say.
Is a bioelectronic addiction.
Yeah, it is.
Videodrome
is
the ultimate addiction.
Is it an addiction?
The video. It has like a heavy metal vibe animation.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the movie.
Videodrome will change your body.
So watch this when you have your moments.
Videodrome.
Anyways, if you have the means, if you have the means of YouTube.
I don't think we said at the beginning the theme for this month is Canuxploitation.
Yeah.
This being a Cronenberg movie, and he's a Canuck.
It's the United States' Independence Day, but we're celebrating Canada today.
Why are we celebrating? Because Canada Day was just...
Canada Day was on the first.
Yeah. And so we're just giving...
Well, it was inspired by last year we did The Fuck.
Yeah.
And it was just wacky, crazy movies. Mm-hmm. And most of those movies that month were from Canada.
Was that last year?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like last July?
We've lost touch with reality.
When we did the
time.
pit?
Yeah, something like that.
Holy shit. I thought that was like
3
2
years
months ago.
Oh!
Yeah, I thought that was like very recent. Holy shit.
Time, man.
Time.
Man. Older than time.
Older than time.
Oh, my God.
It keeps on flipping.
Good gravy.
That too. No, every time I have ever somebody's mentioned the movie Videodrome or I've seen it written somewhere, I hear Beyonce in my head. Video phone. Does anybody remember that from Sasha Fierce? I hate you guys so much. Do I have to play it?
I don't think
No,
you
don't
can.
play it.
Why?
You're not allowed to?
Oh, okay, you're right. Just listen to it on your own. I've always heard Beyonce going, video phone. So Videodrome.
I'd never seen this.
Me either.
I don't understand this movie.
I don't understand it at all, but you know what? I really liked it. But James Woods really...
I liked it too, and also didn't understand.
He fits the body horror theme even without the prosthetics.
Yeah, what a man that looks the way he is inside.
Yeah, even if he wasn't a gross person on the inside, he's real gross on the outside too.
He's a rough looking dude.
He's like a little baby with a big giant head. He's just like cradled on top of Debbie Harry, and she just looks like his
poor
mom.
Girl. Poor Debbie.
And she's
great.
not very big either. So that he's only about the size of a football. But then
and it's okay to make fun of people's bodies when they're bad people.
I'll make fun of James Woods all day long.
He's a piece of shit.
That's true. But a great performer.
Great performer.
A total turd.
I like plenty of James Woods movies.
He's
me too.
like authentically gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
all his
also,
roles.
Yeah, he was super sleazy. His character was sleazy. It's not like he played some kind of hero, really.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, what he runs, it's basically a television station that it skews more adult that will air softcore pornography after midnight.
And he pirates from other places. He tries to find his content by pirating from other countries and stealing their content to put on, whatever. Channel 83 to like shock people and blow their balls off.
Too, what's interesting is part of that pirating process also seems that they have these satellites and they're grabbing these live feeds. But he does then go to the next step and like
tries to get a hold of them.
Tries to find them. Yeah,
works a deal like with Masha. Is that her name?
Yeah, he's got like she's like a broker kind of character.
This movie, I kept thinking it was going to be something, and then it wasn't that thing at all anymore.
This is my second favorite Cronenberg. The Fly is always going to be, I think, number one for me. But this is a damn good movie.
I really liked this.
Yeah,
I really liked it too. I watched it with Colin.
I might like it.
If somebody could explain the plot to me and who was pulling the strings behind everything.
Here's what I'm gonna try. I think you guys. Let's do this let's workshop this together.
Well, it's not about snuff films.
Yeah.
No.
What was the point of Videodrome? This is the show they're watching.
So I think he has been targeted by this cabal of rich Democratic politicians that eat children. No,
with the underground tunnels, right?
Yeah, and they get the kids the adrenochrome. Is that what it is? And they're getting it out of the kids, and it's not cheese pizza. It's
adrenochrome.
Don't infect me with QAnon.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so he's been targeted because he has this television station, and so they're gonna use the Videodrome signal, which causes tumors in your brain, which then causes you to hallucinate, and then they can like film your hallucination and then beam it out to somebody else.
But what are they using our hallucinations for? What are they using us for?
A metaphor.
Is it to cause chaos?
It was all metaphor. I mean, like, this is an art movie. It's an art movie that he managed to sell.
Like, he's trying to say something about our
addiction to TV.
Media.
It's not just
that.
And it's even beyond TV. Like, he digs even deeper. It's about putting a lens on reality.
Yeah, it's like
making reality what you want it.
And whether it's glasses or TV or whatever it is, and how that will consume what you are as a human being and turn you into a version of yourself through that same lens.
It's like
they keep refining.
We're being controlled by them because we're basically a product now.
Which we are now.
It is shockingly prescient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was just confused about there were just so many actors in this cabal type thing and like red herrings and stuff.
You think like
like
the Professor Oblivion.
The Oblivions.
Well, like he predicted screen names in this movie.
Yeah.
Because they do mention
he
that.
Said it won't be your names.
It's not your names. Like, and they're the people, the names they do pick are these weird names, you know, like are puns. Like it's a pun. Oblivion. Like it's like an Irish name.
No, I mean, I think it's very like on the nose. It was not subtle. Yeah. But I was just
it was a screen name. That's basically his handle.
That's the name that person chose. That's not his real name.
But I was just wondering did he have anything to do with the cabal, or was he just
he was one of the
a cog in the machine?
I think he wasn't it that he was also a victim and had been targeted by the cabal, but why was he targeted?
Well, the thing is, the point
because he studied this stuff. Like what?
Yeah.
Didn't he participate in developing the?
Everyone became a victim.
Yeah.
So the point was kind of like you have the kind of like Jim Baker style guy runs the optometry. They called him convex.
Right, convex.
Like a lens. Mm-hmm. So like he's the one who seems to understand what's going on, but the truth of the matter is everyone's being fed through this same machine.
He had that.
Isn't he a cabal member?
He had that helmet.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is like, it's about the bad guy is the lens.
Yeah.
The lenses, all the lenses throughout the story are like really.
Screens.
And they let this is my interpretation of how this is like art. You know what I mean? Like,
this
I think
is some
you can come
full-on
at it from
hallucinatory drugs shit. There's no real answer.
But I think that like.
What's your Cronenberg?
The point is that everyone falls victim to the lens. Like, you can't escape it. It seems like some people are above it.
Like David Cronenberg's character?
In that, like, they understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that they're like...
Because he's the only one that seems that... I mean, I'm sure that you could point out a way that he was a victim, but he... Weirdly, and especially because he's still also the writer and director, it's almost like that character is the one that's pulling the strings, ultimately.
So he's a character, too.
No, New York City was really...
That was David Cronenberg, right? The guy that worked with James Woods?
No, but
it looked like him to me.
That was what threw me when you said it. I was trying to think. Yeah.
Harlan was a different dude.
Patron.
That was Peter Dvorsky, who
okay.
Actually just died a couple of years ago.
He looked like a young... I just assumed that was because I know he acts sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know that Cronenberg...
He was on Discovery, Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
So would you say this is like an art housey they live?
You know what? I would say this is more of a popcorn Cronenberg. Like
maybe
this
that's
and The
why
Fly, I think, are the popcorn.
Maybe that's why I love it so
is
much.
Is it popcorny? This is very like
because if you just let it go, you get titties.
Just visually, like
get,
it's like very
like
secrets, more accessible.
You get gross shit.
Yeah.
You get shooting.
Yeah. I mean, as weird as this movie is, it's to me this movie feels mainstream compared to the rest of Cronenberg's work. You know what I mean? The Fly is the most mainstream.
But it was just the concepts he was pushing and the point he was trying to make was very kind of muddled a little bit for me.
It got too convoluted.
Yes.
Which was.
And I think he's.
But he gave me the visuals, so
he's leaving it open. That's the thing is like it may feel muddled because I don't think he wanted to make.
I got a
very specific point.
I got a message from it, but for me it wasn't very clear. Sometimes.
Well, the ending of the movie, James Woods, I think, actually helped with that. So if that didn't tie things up, it might be because of that.
So another question: was Debbie Harry real, or she
had already been dead?
Yeah, she'd been dead for.
So the one that he actually met was just another like.
It says a lot in common with Total Recall.
When did she die?
Yeah.
Before they ever met on the TV show?
Before they ever met, she had been dead. Everything he interacted with her was somehow going on.
Oh, that was a hallucination.
As a hallucination.
Okay. Because of the signals that were being projected into him, right?
Right. He'd already been exposed to this stuff for 2 years before we ever meet the character. So the day you meet James Wood's character in this movie, he's already been exposed to this stuff for 2 years by his assistant who was really working for Convex.
Right.
And he was it seems like maybe he's an experiment, but the truth of the matter is it's almost like they discovered something that got out of control. They think they're in control of it. They subject other people to it, and really it's using everybody from the top down.
It's just destroying the whole concept of reality, which frankly, sometimes I feel like in this world today, we're not on the same footing of reality with our fellow citizens.
We're not. Everyone's reality is completely manipulated.
It's just like with all the social media, I present myself differently on different platforms.
That. And then there's people out there that believe it was just tourists who got a little crazy on January 6th. Like, I feel it deep watching this. I feel that like you don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it's because I do live.
There are people out there.
My reality is different than theirs because I live in a bubble and I choose.
And you just are a different person.
Yeah, and I choose what news sources I take in, and I choose what to believe. And I'm just as probably is radicalized the word.
I barely watch the news, y'all.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of reality as much as possible.
But that idea that for 2 years nothing is real.
Yeah. Well,
See, I thought
he
when they
doesn't
said-
know what's real.
yeah, some things were, but
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What
The
were
last
real?
4 years didn't feel real either.
Right. Well, the last 16, 17 months,
It's definitely
real.
this movie is now much more relatable.
it's something. So I thought when they said she'd been dead, I thought like after they boned, they killed her. But no, you're saying she's
That-
the
the
whole
way- the
entirety
way-
of the movie. She had been dead the whole time.
That's the way I understood
So
it.
she got
Woo.
Videodromed years ago, right?
She got
And
Videodrome.
She got killed on the camera, right?
Yeah, she was
snuffed.
yeah, she was on one of
So
those
how
snuff
did
films.
he come up with her in his hallucination? Oh, the signal is causing his hallucination. Like they're directing his hallucinations.
No, the signal never went out. Those tapes, they brought those tapes with them. Convex and his
They gave them to
assistant,
him. They
planned
played
them.
him for him. Yeah.
They
Right.
just played them for him. Nobody else was watching them.
Oh, you're right.
Because
So-
they didn't want the signal just floating around. They were
But I
using
meant-
it was a controlled experiment.
But they ultimately did want to send the signal to
Right.
everyone. That was the plan.
Yeah.
Like, see how it works with him, and then we're going to put it on channel 83 and pump it into everybody.
Yeah.
See, the longer we talk about this, the more I realize I didn't get anything. But I'm oddly okay with it.
You know what though? Like that's the beauty of this movie. It's very rewatchable, and you'll
And
get something new out of it every
when
time.
the tape, the little Betamax tape in his hand, like
Starts
breathed,
starts
and
moaning.
moaning,
Yeah.
it's so fucking bananas. I love that.
It's like, ooh, what that tape do?
Yeah.
The TV was breathing.
He ate a TV's ass out.
He did. He ate that TV's ass.
Like the TV screen made an ass, and he was face
An ass with
face
lips
deep
on
in
it.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, that TV was thick.
I love those moments.
That TV's ass could break the internet.
Also, the blending of like machine and body. Like in this, I love Existence when we watched that for the show.
Existence,
Yeah.
that's
And
the
we
one.
revisit that.
Forgetting.
That's like I feel like almost a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the gun looks so similar to the gun.
Yeah.
Existence.
And like, but
And like the melding of technology to the body.
I feel like the message in this one was even more clear as a criticism of like how inescapable technology becomes. Like people aren't even willing to turn off their phones to go camping for a day.
I know.
People are not willing to even silence their phones for a 90-minute movie, or like everybody has multiple screens going. And I feel like you think about when this was made, he really did predict a lot of
Technology and stuff.
and the problem with it. Like the criticism is so like astute because it is like destroying our world.
Yeah, for sure.
the-
Literally.
Yeah, it's destroying the world. It's also saving the world. It's that tool that you have to use it
In the right way.
in the right way.
Well, it's
Because
such a
we're
big,
human, we won't.
It's such a big concept because if you pull back, you realize nothing means anything because we're all just atoms.
There's that too.
Holy shit, bro.
But if you
I'm
zoom
gonna
in
need
just
a
a
minute.
little,
Where atoms
And
older-
it's just like if you zoom in a little bit more, then that's what you just said. It's both saving and killing. It's just we are on the path we're on.
yeah, we're older than time.
You know what I mean, man?
We've always been
It's
here.
like time doesn't even. It's like whatever, man.
there was see, if Central Park is that new show that the Bob's Burgers people do, that's a musical. They just did an episode, and Keith David.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great.
don't
Although
watch it.
it's not the first season.
I'm not a musical person.
It takes you a while to warm to it because it's not Bob's Burgers, but it did get really good.
Yeah.
But David Keith is it? Yeah, David Keith is the one who was in the Thing, right?
Keith David.
Keith David.
You said it right the first
I
time.
always get a switch.
David Keith, I think, was the guy in that show with the two little kids,
Yeah,
Buffy and Jody and Mr. French. I can't think of the name of it.
I know what you're talking about.
So anyway,
I gotta get back on the, not that, but he does this character where he was like the mentor to the park manager on the show, and he comes to speak to the kids, but he's become like the super jaded, the world's gonna end no matter what we do.
Yeah.
So they do this song called Why Bother. By the way, the music in the second season of Central Park is amazing.
Yeah.
Like they've changed kind of the style they were using a little bit. But it's this really intense thing where he's like bumming everybody out. And he says, why bother? We're on a trajectory for doom. why bother trying to save the trees or whatever, and then they come in and kind of say why they do bother the other characters, which is the reassurance someone who is an atheist sometimes needs to hear, like the real world benefits of why we bother with things that will not affect our lives once we're gone, because we know that finite will be gone.
Yeah.
So why do we, and we don't have children, like why, like you of course would probably think at least one generation ahead.
I've actually stated, and I don't know how cool it is to say this.
Oh boy.
I've said that I only care about the world up through like what my great-great-grandchildren's generation would be. So like any generations of kids that I could potentially be alive, maybe not great, like my kids, grandkids.
You know what? That's
kids.
that's just human, like, because that's the most abstract you can get.
Yeah.
So it's okay. That's just like a defense mechanism, because you do on some level, you really care. And you're like, the only way I can cope with it is if I push it so many generations down that I couldn't possibly know those people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think, that like the ecological side of this, or just kind of how media and how we're destroying the planet. Right.
The Gulf of Mexico is on fire.
Yeah. Trying to get my thread back there. I just thought of the ocean.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah. Things will be okay. You got to steer it back somehow. But like there's people who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It really don't.
They don't give a shit beyond their own house. If it's what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also just so tangled up in this whole idea of like living virtually. It's so much easier to ignore what we're doing in reality.
No, living virtually is how I found out the Gulf of Mexico is on fire.
But it's also putting everybody inside. Like it's we were just talking. Alyse and I were talking about like how an entire world has been built now. Not to sound like old weird people, but just virtually people have entire relations. I mean, people always have had virtual relationships, but like it's now a whole thing where people can just choose to create an entire world and existence and experience without ever having to leave anything, like, and be by themselves and just meet. Like, there are a lot of people who don't even want to have real physical relationships with people, and this is the way they prefer it.
Because you can manipulate.
You can be whatever you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's again, like the whole thing with Videodrome is it's just about that master manipulation and how everybody sooner or later you'll fall victim to it. If you like, it's so hard for me to go on Facebook and Twitter because like it just doesn't feel like reality, and it has caused such a disconnect.
I mostly don't anymore.
It just hurt. It's just a nasty place to me.
Mm-hmm.
It can be. It very much can be. I feel like the day.
Are you friends with nasty people?
No, it's just honestly, it's like even
it's like stuff
no. That's actually what's disheartening. Is I'm not.
I know my expectations of certain media platforms, social media especially. I only use basically Instagram to follow thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and look at pretty people.
He doesn't mean thoughts as in your brain. He means
THOTS.
That hoe over there.
Well, that's all I use Twitter for. The only I will pop into Twitter to watch booty shakers.
On
you can see anything you want on Twitter.
You see assholes on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the only reason the only people that I really, really ever check in on are like, just sex people.
On Facebook, I just used to wish people happy birthday.
It is though. Well, that's such a nice like. I'm just like, yeah, okay, put your butthole on Twitter. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I love that.
It's like I don't want to see people. I'd rather
see your butthole than the things like certain people will retweet into my timeline, and it's just bummer. It's
not even just the bummers; it's the fighting.
Yeah,
it's disheartening because, like, I don't know, man. I'm just getting to be like an old hippie brain.
He's like, let me open up my stomach pussy and grab my breathing Betamax out.
You think are those people obsolete now?
Who?
The stomach pussy people? I mean, the VHS pussy?
Well, it wasn't VHS.
It wasn't.
The Betamax.
Beta. They were beta.
The Betamax pussies.
I looked in the trivia on IMDb, and they said it's because what would fit in that little
Are they
slot.
obsolete now? Is James Woods obsolete?
The scene where James Woods is sitting shirtless with his gun holster, because, he runs a television station, so he needs it. Right, Freddy?
Right. Yeah, with his shoulder holster.
Yeah. And that scene where his stomach starts to tear open, is so good.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, there's some parts like, how do they do
and
that?
And he reaches in there. Yeah, the trivia just kind of said they had James Woods kind of built into the couch.
He was just sitting behind it or something.
Yeah.
I would love to get that from a furniture store.
A James Wood couch?
Yeah, just a rubber James Woods that has like a slot you can store stuff in.
So
you can
put
put blankets in there and stuff.
Or you can get, they should have it somewhere like the David Cronenberg world, like the theme park for David Cronenberg, where you can sit on the couch and get your picture, like your head goes in the James Woods body.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, are we going to develop like stomach pussies that we put iPods in and stuff?
Well, that's where your charger
Not
will be.
iPods.
Oh my God, Andy.
I still use mine, that's why. Or like iPhones. Is that what are you gonna put in your
think
watch
will
is
happen?
gonna be a chip in your stomach pussy?
Like how you have like wireless charging now, but they're gonna hook it up into your heart so your heart can charge it, and then you can just like slap your phone on your chest to charge it. That's what I think.
It's going to be a processor chip. You're not even going to have it a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, are you allowed to do it in public? Because that's kind of like
you gotta jerk off to charge it. Wouldn't that be crazy?
How do you he lost the gun in there and then he gets it out later. That was some gnarly shit.
It was all greasy.
So good.
Also, the fact that they put that leather gun holster on him, despite the fact that he wasn't wearing a shirt, like that was totally like it felt like an S&M thing more than an actual.
This was a very sadomasochistic.
So what was the point of the sadomasochism? Like it was a very pronounced.
It was something in him that I
Videodrome.
don't think he had acknowledged, and like that was what the hallucinations were bringing out of him, was like his tendencies towards that.
So that's just what he saw. It's not necessarily what somebody else would see, right?
Right. It was what's in his brain. These are almost like dreams.
In fact, you have to question the video, like even the snuff stuff at the beginning. Like we don't even know if that's really what. Like that could have all just been him hallucinating. That's what. Like it might have not been anything on those tapes.
So it made me question what was anything real in this movie.
That's the thing.
Did he actually even have a station? Did he?
Right, you can question it. You can break it down to like
that weird church, or that church exists at all, where they were forced to watch TV the whole time.
That was a great sequence.
That was an interesting.
The cathode ray too.
Yeah, I like that because like
the mission.
Because like they just plant these seeds where you can make the story in your mind.
So Bianca, as the very Canadian guy called her, she says this thing about like the homeless come to this mission and they are the given cubicles sit and watch TV, and she says this is by giving them this opportunity to watch TV, we connect them into society more.
Yeah,
which was such an interesting.
But I think they were just using them so they can become that product that they're making.
It was still an interesting idea that homeless people don't have access to the media we're all watching, so they become more disconnected that way.
Which is interesting. Which is a danger to those in power, and that's one of the reasons they want that. That's what I was getting at before about there being this third entity that is the antagonist, wherein even Convex and his guy are all really working for maybe the good of man through whatever lens that is. The media man. So but what it is they're scared of the people who aren't part of that grid and that system,
who they can't control with it,
and they can't control people that do their own research.
It's like they live. Yeah. It's just like they live.
Like
it's like they live mixed with Jacob's Ladder.
I think it's fun as shit.
And I want to talk about the glasses exhibition. With the dance with the dancers and the Renaissance.
It was awesome
thing they were doing. Like,
I'd love to go to an optometry convention where they roll out the new frames for 2022 and you get those solid gold dancers come out.
Yeah.
And their little leotards and their go-go boots.
I was once at a client convention because they work in advertising, and they were a restaurant chain, and they were coming out with new steak and shrimp menu, and I had to watch a guy dressed up like a shrimp like in a full like shrimp costume, and a guy dressed up like a steak, and it was like
Was
a
it Lenny and
boxing
Squiggy?
ring.
Okay, I can get excited
And they
about.
came in like did a like fake boxing.
I can get excited about food like that, but
Yeah.
glasses.
I can if there's
Right.
titties and ass.
Titties and ass.
Glasses. Or
I'll get
glasses?
excited about. Yeah, I'll get fucking excited about gum wrappers.
Ooh, the gum wrapper
I'll
convention.
go to a
That-
gum wrapper convention if they're walking around in solid gold dancer outfits.
Yeah.
And they had like cigarette girls with glasses in their tray, like glasses.
Because you're trying the new
bifocals.
Medici line.
Yeah, the Medici line.
But like, is that just another commentary on consumerism?
Yeah, probably.
It's Luxottica.
It's about them wanting
Thing
you
is,
to see
probably
the world
Luxottica
through their
didn't own
lens.
everything back when this movie came out.
But now they do.
But now they do. That's the other thing. Fucking Cronenberg was hopping on the train. Luxottica is going to own every step of the eyeglass and eyewear process.
Oh, no. Are these glasses? Am I part of the problem by having these
Yes!
glasses? Are they?
I've got Ray-Bans. Luxottica owns
Are they
Ray-Bans.
making me see what I want to see with these glasses?
Think for a minute about. Let's get deep, man.
No.
Let's get even deeper. Let's dig down.
Oh shit.
People were scared of the telescope when it was invented, and the microscope. Like it's all about seeing things that there's two things. There's the forbidden fruit element of it, but then when the lens starts looking back and you start interpreting things differently, like the moon is a god one day, and then another
it's just a
day,
rock.
it's just a rock because they saw it through a telescope.
And it's sometimes cheese.
But what happens when the moon gets mad about being classified as a rock and it really is a god?
Or
And then it turns that lens back on you. That's what I think is happening in this. Is it's the things that were being observed and were being robbed of their power, trying to reclaim their power by making everybody see the world differently.
Holy fuck balls! I have no idea.
well, it's also you can also comment speaking from that perspective about the transition from seeing the moon as a god to realizing it's a rock, seeing the earth go around the sun versus the sun going around the earth, like, and that weird middle ground where, oh, we're going to kill Galileo for telling us the truth, like,
Right.
because ultimately, like, we're looking through the lens because we think we want truth, but then when we get to it, when we first see it, it's like
We
people
try to hang
actually
Mike
don't
Pence.
want that, and they're like, no,
No, yeah, they're- well,
and
on
the
the-
people in power don't
Yeah.
want you to know what's
Yeah.
real.
That's
That's the whole Bible.
That's why we have transition lenses.
Yeah, man.
Can't watch out
That's
for
the
those.
whole
Yeah,
Garden of
man.
Eden.
Yeah, man.
What you know, what's
You wanna
real, man,
get-
and God's got no power, man. Get
You want
out
to
of
get
the
the glare
garden.
protector on your glasses? Do you want to get that? It's really great for glare when you're looking at screens. Now I think it's some sort of filter on my glasses so I get the signal
Yeah,
correctly.
don't trust bifocals either.
Because my astigmatism prevented me from getting the Videodrome signal. So
Yeah.
when I got my glasses and the special glare protection, now I can get it.
This is just something I want to say to all you schizophrenics out there and people who are could be suggestible to like a conspiracy theory.
We are fucking around.
This is just a thought exercise, fun fictional thing. Don't attack the moon.
Unless the moon attacks you
Well,
first.
we need it to pull the water around.
Right.
I
So
need it
leave
to
it there.
regulate my uterus, okay? And also, I'm a werewolf.
Yeah. So
If you feel like you're not 100% in touch with reality,
Please don't listen to
Man.
this.
just go on a nature walk.
don't watch Videodrome.
Is
No,
Debbie,
don't do that.
Is Debbie Harry even real? It's so weird seeing her without blonde hair.
She's beautiful.
Isn't she, though?
is.
I actually
And
like her
I
better
loved
without
her. Yeah,
blonde hair.
she was great in this, and she
Yeah.
deserves extra pay for having
Yeah, to work with
to,
James Woods.
to make a love scene with
His
James Woods.
naked body.
I was like, please do not show me his ass.
You know what
And
though?
then they
But
did.
from behind, he didn't look bad.
well,
You couldn't see like his head.
right.
That's the worst part.
His giant
Did we even see his ass?
Frankenstein
I don't know. Is it James
on
Woods?
his little baby body.
It could be a hallucination.
Is it James Woods or Jimmy Forrest?
Do you remember Kelly Maroney was like one of her very first interviews, and
Yeah.
she said that James Woods was hitting on her when she was really young.
yeah, no shit.
Did she? I don't remember that.
So did
I wasn't
Amber
on that
Tamblyn.
interview.
Amber
Were you?
Tamblyn.
I thought you
he
were.
tried to pick up Amber Tamblyn when she was 16.
Well, no, but I think
Oh,
he's
really?
just saying
And knew
that
it.
Kelly Maroney. That's been so long because Kelly Maroney was 16 in like 1985.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
this
like
was
that.
way back then.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, there's all kinds of stories about him. But it's just he's
he still banned on
he
Twitter?
does seem super sleazy.
He does, but Hardway is such a fun movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I love his movies.
Yeah.
He's I can, I subscribe to the separation.
Oh, I do too.
But it's harder when the person is currently crazy.
It's for me. I don't need to know what celebrities do in their.
That's part of the problem. Like we know too much about these.
I try not to ever know.
I'm the same.
Anything about anyone that I like, and people are like, "Oh, what?"
I was so excited about Shikari, and now I found out that she.
Yeah.
Can I?
It's easier to take when we're further removed from their art, from like distance wise
from them.
Yeah, if they're past, especially, it's easier to take in, even though they can still be problematic.
Yeah. It's such a privilege to make art, and I think that's the heart of the thing is when you have that privilege of that's what you do for a living. Like people hold you to this not unrealistic standard, but a high standard.
Yeah.
Because we aspire to be these people, I think, or we used to, and I'm hoping we're being cured of that. Because you don't need to be. Because there's a lot of value in what you do. And then if it's not a privilege anymore, then we can take that power away from them where they're not so important.
But he didn't predict the flat screen TVs though, because they still have those giant tube TVs in this movie.
Yeah.
That were made of skin.
That was a cool, like a breathing television.
Yeah, it was awesome. Did you notice he had an Atari 2600?
Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was on top of the TV.
It is kind of predictive because like Siri and Alexa, they're kind of very responsive, like the way these live TVs are.
Well, we talked about that. His assistant, who had they had a direct video line to each other. We were like, that's very like Siri-esque. And she was beautiful too.
Bridie, is that her name? That's a weird name.
It is, but it's not
It's very Canadian.
Well,
Canadians can have unusual names.
I think
sometimes.
everybody was Canadian except for James Woods and Debbie Harry.
So for us, we'll see a lot of connections. Well, David Cronenberg, we just watched an episode of Friday the 13th, the series that he directed called The Faith Healer.
Was it body horror-y?
Yeah, it was. This Faith Healer had this big Mickey Mouse glove that would heal people, but then he would take the disease out of them.
And it would go into his hand.
And the glove would turn into like kind of like the gun in Videodrome. And then he would touch somebody else and it would kill them. It would give like the concentrated version of that to whoever.
Oh, like the Green Mile.
Yeah, so he became like he was a fake faith healer, he became like a real faith healer because he found the glove. And but Cronenberg directed the episode, and there's a bunch of Cronenberg people, the people he worked with over and over again coming into that series. When you get second season on, I forgot, like it's so Canadian. And it's so perfect for like we've had started watching the show.
Good old Louise Roby.
Yeah. She's great.
She is great.
You know, even though her accent comes and goes.
She has a hard time with it.
Even in person, I wasn't always sure what that was.
Yeah.
I think Gillian Anderson has that same issue.
Yeah.
But John D. LeMay, he's awesome. Yeah. I mean, like his performance, going back, it doesn't look dated. Like he really kind of, this silly show, like I think he really brings you into it, even though there's still so much stupid shit happening around him. Right? Did you feel that way? Like, I feel like
I think he's doing great.
He was just a cut above.
He's doing great. You guys doing great. They're just so doing
fantastic.
Great.
And then you get all these other groovy Cronenberg people popping up, and
it's groovy.
It is groovy. And then there's connections to other stuff. It's just a deep well.
It's a deep well, and a great idea.
Mm-hmm. I wish somebody would bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's shows like it. I would say Evil is the closest thing.
Is that about cursed objects?
No, but it just has that vibe. It's fun, but it's also scary, like religious scary.
Some things just seem cursed.
But they do deal with cursed stuff. It's just a supernatural show, but it has the personality of Friday the 13th, the series, but with money and craftsmanship that we have now. So it's not that cheap look.
No, I know. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's got a great personality.
It's got a great personality.
Busted face, though.
Yeah.
So, as we do every month, we allow somebody who signed up to our mailing list to pick our third main attraction. What are let me clarify the rules for everybody right now. Definitely, if it's directed by a Canadian,
let's just say
starring. Could it be starring a big Canadian or about?
It has to be filmed in Canada.
Yeah, what's a big Canadian like?
I always associate Canuxploitation, like those wacky, crazy movies.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything, but like Just Canadian related. I
Try
guess.
to give us a lot of Canada in your choice, and I'll be reaching out to that
Something weird.
person
Weird Canada.
soon.
Horror.
Yeah. If you'd like to be part of this opportunity, this great opportunity, submit your resumes too. No, go to notlp.com, look for the Dracula stamp, sign up for the mailing list. I'm never going to email you, don't worry, but I'm only going to email you if you win.
And that's open to all listeners.
Yes. Do we know what we're doing next week?
No.
Something Canadian.
Something maple-y.
Maple syrup. We're going to review
the
maple
syrup
syrups.
killer.
Have you guys seen the Clove Hitch Killer?
No.
Speaking of killers, really, like I would say it's a hidden gem.
Yeah, didn't you watch that a couple years ago?
No, we watched it this year.
I just saw it during the pandemic because I had all that time to watch movies, and I finally got around. It's been around.
Maybe I feel like you talked about it. Maybe I'm thinking of Snowtown
I may
Murders.
have recommended it to you already.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Was that a firework?
Jesus Christ. Either something
grenade.
exploded outside.
It might have been a grenade.
They're just these enormous, like, boom ones.
That I don't get.
Get the fuck out of here in a neighborhood.
I love beautiful fireworks. I know that's not a popular thing anymore to love fireworks.
I love beautiful fireworks.
I just feel like I hear more people complain about fireworks.
Popular.
The problem I have with them is
ugly fireworks.
the super, like you were saying, like the super loud dog traumatizing.
Yeah, well, the noisy ones I don't really get.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Is what I was basically saying. Like I love, and I know that the beautiful ones can be noisy. And I will
there's a certain
accept
level
that.
you have to accept a certain level of boom.
But just these noisemakers to me,
you
I
don't
don't
like the
get.
boomies?
I don't get the.
Boomies.
It's the ones that sound like 10 sticks of dynamite going
M80s?
off.
Which is what we just heard.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's fucking 2:30 in the afterton.
I actually had one shake my house the other day.
Well,
One
they
of
set
my
off
neighbors
car
set
alarms.
one off, and I was like, I think a rocket just landed. I think someone is trying to eradicate me.
You should be able to like rent an acre of a field and just go do it somewhere where it's not.
Do you remember you used to be able to rent a kid?
Yeah, rent a kid. There's signs from everywhere. I was like, what do you rent a kid to do? When I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to be rented.
Yeah. I was like, all I could think was like really horrible
you're a rent
manual
boy.
labor stuff.
Lawn mowing is what my mom was like, oh, they mow lawns.
Yeah, it's mostly lawn mowing.
I was like, well, I don't want to do that.
helping
I
out
already
the
do
Catholic
that
Church.
at home.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs. Go to
Hi.
patreon.com/NOTLP to support the show that way,
All right.
which is the monetary way.
Here we go, babies.
Let's go.
We're going to get through all these. These people are the best people.
I certainly for me, one of them is number one.
Is the bestest.
It's so good. One of them was worth marrying
That's right.
by Kelly, but all of you are worth marrying. You guys are catches to a person.
Most of you are. You're all wonderful.
Alise.
There's some of you I've never met.
I will see you soon.
Amanda.
I will see you someday, probably.
Ernie.
Yes.
Mark.
Hi.
Bill. Blake. Jeremy and Cassie. Jeremy, I see you on Xbox Live sometimes, and I don't know why I feel like a shy girl at a dance, but I play Call of Duty, and I always want to be like, hey, Jeremy, you want to play some games?
And he's waiting for you to ask
He's
him,
asking
though.
about right now.
But I'm just standing by the punch
He's
bowl.
waiting for the Sadie Hawkins Day gaming special so that he can ask you to play.
Jeff.
Jeffel.
Iona.
Oh, a great one.
Branan and Emily.
I'll do it even if you don't do the last name part.
Amy's
Hi,
going to
I'm
do
Brandon
it.
and Emily.
Adam. Bill.
Mooch. Hi.
And I missed Bill. We were going to play.
Bill F and Bill C.
We were BBQing, and he sent a message last night I missed. He was like, you want to play a game?
Bill C. discorded me to congratulate me on. Now, I haven't seen the votes for this last one of the current music league I was doing, but I was number one on the leaderboard. And I want to say that I predicted that at the outset of joining this, that I was going to win the whole thing over time. And motherfuckers. Now, I could have been knocked to second, even third possibly. But I just want you to know I ran that fucking league.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, please continue.
You're getting
And
very musically arrogant right now.
And thank you. Oh, I'm always musically
Yes,
arrogant.
yeah.
You just don't. I try to keep it in check so
That should
you
be the
don't have
name
to
of
hear
your
about
memoir.
it. But you can't believe how musically arrogant I actually am.
I can.
I have to stop myself from saying things all the time.
I can't.
See, this is why I'm scared to join the league. Because musically arrogant people like you.
But I don't say anything, and that's the thing.
They're also kind people.
But behind the scenes, I know you're judging it. Because you're holding back.
I love.
But if they never say it to your face, what does it matter?
It's my reality. Oh my god!
You're videodroming yourself. Stop videodroming yourself.
I just put like Oblivion as my screen name.
Oblivion.
That was a great. Bianca Oblivion. That would be a great drag queen name.
Would be.
Yeah, it would. Except the one Canadian guy is Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca.
Blayne.
Hi.
I was starting to say, speaking of drag queen names, and I was like, Blayne. That's a very simple.
There's something we could do there.
Monica. Alyssa.
Hey, girl.
Brian.
Hey, man.
Dave TV.
Hey, man.
Carla, man.
Yeah.
It's Carla, man.
You can't own Carla, man.
It's a God's Carla, man.
And last but certainly not least, Dustin.
Well, everyone, we did it.
Yeah.
We made it happen once again.
I had a great time.
Let's see if we can make it happen another time.
Oh, shit.
One more time.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London